Have you ever wondered why your mind feels foggy, your memory slips more often, or you struggle to focus even when you're not even tired? The truth is, it's not always aging. It's not always stress. Sometimes it's the silent habits we repeat every single day without even realizing it. In today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, our brains are constantly overwhelmed. We jump from task to task, scroll without thinking, and expose our minds to things that drain us, all while assuming it's normal. What most people don't know is that these tiny day-to-day behaviors add up and quietly damage the brain over time. This video is going to peel back the curtain on the hidden things you do, things you'd never suspect that could be weakening your memory, lowering your focus, and slowing down your brain's performance. No scary medical jargon, no vague warnings, just real eye-opening truths about the everyday patterns shaping your mind. And here's the good news. Once you recognize them, you can take your brain back. Let's dive in. One of the bad habits we often don't recognize is not getting enough sleep. Many of us think we can power through on a few hours, but sleep isn't just rest. It's when our brain cleans itself. During deep sleep, the brain's glymphatic system removes toxic proteins like beta amyloids, which, if allowed to build up, are linked to Alzheimer's and long-term cognitive decline. Skipping sleep doesn't just make you groggy the next day, it gradually erodes your memory, focus, and learning ability. Over time, the brain literally struggles to repair and rejuvenate itself. And while lack of sleep silently chips away at your brain, it often pairs with another silent saboteur: chronic stress. Stress in small doses can motivate us, but chronic stress floods your brain with cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol levels shrink the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and learning, and halt the creation of new neurons. This doesn't just make it hard to concentrate, it rewires your brain for fear, anxiety, and impulsivity. Constant stress and sleep deprivation feed off each other. Poor sleep makes you more stressed, and high stress makes it harder to sleep. This vicious cycle is surprisingly common in our modern lives. But stress doesn't act alone. Another major factor quietly weakening our brains is a sedentary lifestyle. Many of us sit for hours every day, at work, on the couch, or scrolling through our phones. Lack of physical movement doesn't just affect your body, it starves your brain of oxygen and nutrients and lowers levels of BDNF, which is essential for learning, memory, and neuroplasticity. A sedentary brain is a slow brain. The more we sit, the less our neurons connect, the harder it becomes to learn new things or retain information. And while moving your body fuels your brain, what you feed it matters just as much. Which brings us to another common brain-damaging habit: high sugar consumption. Sugary snacks and drinks might taste good, but they wreak havoc on your brain. Excess sugar causes inflammation and insulin resistance in the brain, shrinking the hippocampus and slowing down memory and learning. Researchers even call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because of the link between insulin resistance in the brain and cognitive decline. It's not just memory at risk. Sugar highs and crashes also leave you irritable, foggy, and craving more, keeping your brain in a cycle of poor performance. And if sugar quietly attacks your neurons, another subtle habit chips away at your brain in a different way: social isolation. Humans are social creatures. When we lack real-life interaction, our brains lose critical stimulation. Neural pathways for emotion, empathy, and language can atrophy when social connections are missing. Studies show that chronic social isolation increases dementia risk by up to 50%, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Even in a world full of social media, virtual interactions don't fully replace face-to-face connection. Loneliness isn't just emotionally painful, it's physically damaging to the brain. And speaking of overstimulation, another habit quietly overloading our brains is excessive screen time. We spend hours staring at screens, phones, computers, and TVs. This constant bombardment of information overstimulates the brain's sensory processing areas, causing cognitive overload. Studies show that excessive screen time can thin gray matter in the frontal lobe, which reduces focus, impulse control, and even problem-solving ability. Beyond attention, screens affect sleep, social life, and stress, linking back to the habits we've already discussed. Since most of your time is spent in front of screens, whether it's TV, social media, or your phone, there's another habit quietly affecting your brain, this time targeting your mood and mindset rather than brain structure: consuming too much negative news. We often think staying informed is good, but constant exposure to negative headlines keeps the brain in a perpetual fight or flight mode. Stress hormones remain elevated, background anxiety rises, and your ability to think critically or empathize can decline. While negative news doesn't directly kill neurons like sleep deprivation or chronic stress, it subtly rewires your brain's perception, leaving you anxious, distracted, and emotionally drained. Now, just think about all these bad culprits together in your life. They are constantly bombarding your brain every single day. Over time, your brain will gradually lose its ability to work properly, and you'll start noticing the very issues you often wonder, why is this happening to me? Now you know the real enemies. The good news is you can fix or manage these habits to make your brain sharp again. Once you recognize them, you can start making small changes, improving your sleep, managing stress, moving your body, moderating sugar, connecting with others, balancing screen time, and feeding your mind with positive information. Your brain is powerful, resilient, and capable of growth, but only if you take control.